Well, that was a bit dramatic, wasn't it? Yes, welcome to my slightly delayed Royal Rumble reaction show. Sorry, I'm a bit off peak because basically I was due to go on live about half an hour ago. I've just been spending the last 20 minutes or so trying to get rid of family members as per usual. Hi, wife. And I was about to go live on my set live stream, and then basically, long story short, the live stream conked out. So, yes, here I am. That was quite possibly one of the most insane nights of my entire life. Most of the fact, because obviously most of you know, obviously that I'm a huge wrestling fan, but I also support these guys. So basically, in that corner that you can't see, I've been trying to keep an eye on the Liverpool match whilst also watching over there, trying to keep an eye on the Rumble, and it got too much in the end. So really sorry to the Liverpool fans. I had to give up and basically watch it later. So I'm happy to talk about the Mighty Reds as well, but basic long story short, I barely see the match. So I haven't seen the goals, got no idea who scored, pretty much. So yeah, it's been completely insane. But we've got this bad boy, and we're here to talk about pro wrestling. So just to make you guys aware, if you've never watched the show before, that it will be on YouTube podcasts and YouTube video. I'd suspect probably about midday, give or take tomorrow. So if you're not watching tonight, you can watch it tomorrow. Because probably I would imagine a lot of people are watching Denise Salcedo, who knows slightly more about wrestling than me, which is absolutely fine because Denise is awesome. I'm actually just watching the WWE post show in the background, so I'll let you know if anything kicks off while I'm doing this. It's only going to be quite a quick wrap up, to be honest, because there are only the four matches, but there was a ton of stuff that happened. But top headlines basically. In case no one's seen my shorts, that's not a Bart Simpson reference, by the way. Basically, we've got Liv Morgan won the Women's Royal Rumble. Liv's currently on my screen because I'm 20 minutes behind on the post show, so I've got no idea if anything kicks off. So Liv Morgan's won the Women's Royal Rumble. Gutted. AJ Styles has retired, and it doesn't look like a work at the minute. I was very much hoping it was going to be, and I was hoping there was going to be some shenanigans at the end of the Royal Rumble match, but sadly there doesn't appear to be. So it does legit look like, for a shoot, AJ Styles has gone. I'll get onto that in a minute, but I'll be honest, I was damn near in tears because I've watched AJ Styles for nearly 20 years, and I'm not ready to let him go, to be honest, and I'm absolutely devastated. Got to be honest. But I'll get into that in a minute. Sami Zayn lost to Drew McIntyre, so at that point, and I'll get onto this. I mean, it was like some sort of horror story for the home crowd, basically. So you basically essentially had three heels going over. And I was a bit like, bloody hell, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? I just wondered maybe it was a way of trying to show people that, look, I know we're giving Saudi all this money, but this is going to be serious. So if they're going to be part of this, they're going to be part of serious angles and over. And obviously at the end, Roman won the men's Royal Rumble. But there was a boatload of stuff that happened in between. I've made notes because I can hardly even remember what actually even happened. So I'll try and go through everything as I go along and then go from there and then try and. I've not even had a chance to think about the implications for WrestleMania. I mean, obviously, I think I know two of the matches that are going to happen. Maybe a third one, I'm not too sure. So I'll try and just on the cuff give my reactions to um, what's going to happen at WrestleMania. But yeah, basically, getting into the room. Just bear me a second, go on. Right. The guys of you who do regularly watch me, I did say this last night. For this occasion, this tonight is not water, basically. So yes, Royal Rumble started off. Great hype package at the start. That was pretty cool with the whole Triple H thing. After that, we had the Women's Royal Rumble. Opening thoughts, I probably need to have a think about it a little bit more. I thought the second half of the Women's Rumble was excellent. thought the first half was a bit pedestrian's a bit harsh, but I didn't think it was the best women's rumble that I'd ever seen at that point. But the second half more than made up for it. It was really, really good. Shout out to Liv Morgan. She was one of the people that I actually predicted to win the whole thing, and she did. So shout out to Liv Morgan. Obviously, she's been through a boatload of injuries, and do you know what? I know she's a heel, but Liv deserves it. The amount of work and everything that she's put into getting back from injury, trying to improve herself. Her character's absolutely brilliant at the minute. So yeah, shout out to her. Started off with, I'm just trying to have a look at the lineup. So we had Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss at the start. Charlotte actually ended up by, well, we think by accident, eliminating Alexa Bliss. Now, whether they're going to lean into that for Mania, I don't know, to be completely honest. I mean, one would imagine that both are going to be in the women's elimination chamber match for presumably Jade Cargill's title, because obviously now with Liv Morgan being a heel, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine there's going to be much call for Jade Cargill heel versus Liv Morgan heel, although I suppose that would be quite a fun idea. You would imagine it's going to be Stephanie Vaquer who is going to end up basically defeating Raquel Rodriguez, which is due for Monday Night Raw. And you would imagine Vaquer gets through that, unless, of course, this did pop into my mind. Obviously, at some point in the match, Liv Morgan actually eliminated Raquel Rodriguez. I'll get into that insane sequence in a minute, but it did just pop onto my head just before I went on live. What if Raquel Rodriguez did win the belt? Obviously, that then gives you Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez, and the Judgment Day is hanging on by a thread at the minute as it is. Obviously, McDonough's out. Who else have you got? Obviously, Roxanne Perez is basically with Liv Morgan all the time now. Obviously, Liv has just screwed Raquel over. Could there be a Judgment Day women's main event? I'd probably say it's unlikely, because then you'd pretty much have to turn Liv face, because I mean she's so over. She's so over. I mean, literally, I've just been watching the post shows. I'm talking to you guys, and literally the crowd are going absolutely mental for her. They absolutely love her. I love Liv Morgan. I think she's a tremendous professional wrestler. But obviously we'll have to wait and see. Basically, hey Johnny La, you're all right, mate? How you doing? Long time no hear. I'm just trying to have a look, folks. To be honest, there was some really cool moments with Sol Ruka. I'm trying to fit that Soul Snatcher move of hers is sick. It was really, really, really cool. You would imagine if she's not on Raw at the minute, she's probably going to be there post WrestleMania. She had a really good outing. Got to the final three, which was really, really good for her. I'm just trying to have a look. Like I said, the first bit of it was not exactly the most dramatic. You had like Zelina, Maxine, Natty coming out as Natty Neidhart was really cool. That was really, really awesome. Just watching AJ Styles retire. Like I said, guys, for a shoot, I literally nearly did cry. Like I said, I've been watching AJ for 20 years and I'm absolutely gutted, to be honest. Let's have a look. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I'm not too bad too. Try again. I'm not too bad, Johnny. How are you, mate? You're all right. Yeah, it's a Saturday night. The Reds have won. We're getting a takeaway as soon as we've done this. We've got some lovely alcohol to have after I've done this as well. Bit of Captain Morgan from leftover from the other day. Yeah, it's going to be a good night, I think. And I've got my IC title as well, which is always good. Love that thing. But yeah, the first half of it wasn't particularly good, and then the second half got really good. So we had Brie Bella come back, which was pretty cool. She got to team with Nikki. They even had her doing Daniel Bryan, or obviously Bryan Danielson's like up kicks. I forget who she did them onto. Maybe Julia, something along them lines. I don't know who it was, but Michael Cole actually had to say, well, we know who used to do that for us. I mean, it's a bit childish from WWE again. It's like, guys, look, we all know that Bryan Danielson was Daniel Bryan, and we all know he's Brie Bella's husband. Just say AEW. I don't get the whole thing. I know that they're meant to be a direct competitor. They're not really. I mean, look, they're not a direct competitor. Let's have it right. So, let's have a look. Zeesh. Zeesh, how you doing, Zeesh? You all right? Yes, I'm not too bad. Thanks about yourself. Um, like I said first, there wasn't. I felt a bit sorry for the Women's Royal Rumble tonight because there wasn't really. I wouldn't say there was a lot of jeopardy, but the star power wise, it was a bit lacking. Obviously, Rhea and Io came in. Rhea then got eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez, and that started off that sequence. So Raquel Rodriguez basically eliminates Rhea. Crowd go absolutely mental, and then basically from there, they're just showing Gunther now. What a I just swore then. And then obviously Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel. So whether that's going to cause some, well, it will cause friction and Judgment Day, obviously. Can I just shout out, by the way, Lash Legend. That was fantastic. Well done, girl. She was bloody brilliant in that match. They've got if they play it right, they've got a superstar there, an absolute superstar. Tiffy Stratton came back as well. She was part of the ending 3, which was her Sol Ruka. She eliminated Sol Ruka, and then Liv Morgan eliminated Stratton. Whether they can swing it back to Stratton versus Morgan, I don't know. Gunther is currently laughing at AJ Styles and trying not to swear, so I'm going to ignore that. Zeesh, WWE is missing something, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you mean, Zeesh, to be honest. It's good. It's really good. It's not as good as it was about 18 months ago when WWE was completely on fire. I don't know, it's like they've got a bit too big for the boots recently. Obviously, I've still been enjoying the product. I mean, I'm an AEW person as well, so I watch AEW. I'm just starting to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling because I've just found out it's on Extreme, which you can get on, what do you call it, on terrestrial. Trying to watch a bit of TNA, trying to watch NXT, but there's only so many hours in the day, basically. But no, it was like I said, it was a really good finish. It was a bit of a confusing finish because I just thought that surely Tiffy Stratton went. So the one thing I did want to mention was there was no Bianca Belair, which I was astonished about, to be honest. Me and the fam, basically, we all put like silly bets on, not for money, obviously. Like, I don't know, if mommy or son wins it, basically they get a chocolate, that sort of thing. And me and the wife went for Bianca. I think my son went for, who did he go for? I think he went for Raquel Rodriguez. He quite like Raquel, but I just thought, well, surely Bianca's going to come in and wreck shop, and then she'll end up facing Jade Cargill. Job done. Everyone's happy. Boom. There we go. And that did not happen. So unless Jade comes back at the Elimination Chamber, unless she's going to come back on Monday Night Raw, so on, well, obviously Monday goes without saying, duh. Unless she's going to come back then. Like I said, I was just really, really surprised about it. I'm really pleased that Natty is now Natty Neidhart, by the way, because I have watched her on the indies and stuff, and she does look really, 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 really awesome. So I'm glad they're doing something with her. Hopefully, maybe, I hope Natty gets some sort of match to have at WrestleMania because she's hardly been on it in recent times. Gunther's now just walking off and laughing at everyone. People are going mental, calling him a you know what and all sorts, basically. Let's have a look. Hey, Corky, how you doing, mate? You're alright. Why they couldn't arrange Ray Phoenix and Penta in the ring at the same time as Beyond Me? Yes, Corky, I did think that myself, actually, because I think, am I right in thinking they missed each other by about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that? Because I was thinking, maybe they'll do the whole Lucha Brothers thing from obviously AEW and the Indies and Mexico and all that. And yeah, they chose not to do it. I did think the men's Royal Rumble, as a bit of a spoiler, was really good. I was a bit disappointed there weren't as many returns as I was expecting, but there we go. Z has just said exactly what I've said. I thought we would see Chris Jericho. I was I thought, to be honest, Siege, that what I'd worked out was that basically Jericho would come back, say, around 28th, 27th, something along them lines, and it would get down to maybe him and Roman or him and Cody, and then Jericho has a heroic effort, um, and then we go from there. But like, obviously that did not happen. I mean, I suppose Jericho could come back at the Elimination Chamber, but like, it's not going to give them a hell of a lot of time to build. Because I mean, look, WrestleMania's in like 9 weeks, I think, 9, 10 weeks, something along those lines. Obviously, that seems like a lot of time, but in the grand scheme of things, with the build to Mania, it's not really. And you would imagine they're going to have a lot of the matches set now. Whether there's a place for Jericho, I honestly don't know. But I mean, you would. I was thinking basically with AJ Styles having retired, then you have Jericho move into Styles' place as the resident legend. But you never know. He could show up on Monday Night Raw, but it just doesn't have the same impact. Maybe Elimination Chamber. Pass. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. I can't even read that name. Town Turg, I think. Because Stone Cold said so. Yes, lad, absolutely. Well, if you like Stone Cold, there you go. There's Stone Cold. So, me and my son basically decorated the living room. You can see all the stuff behind me, and we had a boatload of wrestling merch and this, that, and the other out, and we actually decorated it because we usually do it for, if it's like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, because he's getting into his wrestling. So we had like wrestling T-shirts, posters, all these figures behind me, some Funkos as well. Which I've got an Austin one there, I think, actually. So yeah, we decorated the living room and everything. Dude, honestly, I am a Stone Cold Steve Austin was my guy. He's my favourite professional wrestler of all time. Absolutely love the guy. What a wrestler. Yeah, Austin was awesome. Let's have a look. Eric, Nirvana or Pearl Jam? I wasn't really into either, Eric, to be honest. No, I wouldn't say I wasn't even. I was always like '90s. I was always like um, EDM or dance music or like hip hop guy. Soul music. I listened to a lot of Angie Stone, God rest her soul, back in the day. Tupac was one of my guys. Eminem, Wu Tang, obviously. Who else? They used to like Nas, people like that. 50 before he turned into something rhyming with Rickhead. And yeah, that was my music. I suppose rocks. I like Nirvana, but it was just wasn't really my scene. I sort of came into rock when it turned into sort of new metal, so I was a massive Limp Bizkit fan. Linkin Park. I used to go to this night in called Star in Leeds, which was like one of those university nights that you have for all students and stuff. And we used to listen to Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Biscuit. Who else did we listen to now? Um, Puddle of Mud, Drowning Pool, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. That's one of my favourite tunes of all time. Absolutely freaking awesome. So yeah, that was sort of my scene, dude, to be honest. Um, but yeah, let me just have a look. What have I talked about? Yes, basically, long story short, Liv Morgan has won the title. Now, won the title, sorry, excuse me, won her place at WrestleMania. Now, one would assume we are talking the end of the Judgment Day, because if I'm Raquel Rodriguez, I am livid. I know she's got to face Stephanie Vaquer, but this is why I'm kind of thinking maybe Raquel goes over in that match, and then it's like Judgment Day War. I mean, I like the fact that they've kind of turned Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez into like female Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels kind of thing, because they've got more or less the same personalities, but just because they're girls kind of thing. So maybe that could be it. I don't know. I mean, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquea. I really like Steph. She's really good, but I'm not sure if she's having the best run at the minute. Neither's Jade Cargill, to be honest. So maybe that's why I'm going to put the belt on Liv, because Liv is. I'm not saying the other two girls are boring, but let's have it right. Liv Morgan's a proper personality, and she's interesting. You find yourself drawn to her. She's just an absolute superstar. So Maybe Liv versus Tiff Stratton. I don't know. Obviously they can't do Liv versus Rhea again. I mean, it does beg the question what they're going to do now with Rhea in Io Sky. Perhaps Rhea can go against Jade Cargill. I mean, that match I would love to see as like two badass women. That would be really, really cool. They might just play it the safe route. I mean, I think probably they'll go for Stephanie Fouquet versus Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. I would have thought, but we'll have to wait and see how we get on. The next match was, unfortunately, if I'm going to use wrestling figures, this guy. Now, if you're listening on the podcast, I am showing a picture of, well, I'm showing a figure actually of the phenomenal AJ Styles, who, as it stands, has retired from pro wrestling. So we'll go run for the Rokin man. I'm absolutely gutted. I'm going to be honest. I'm absolutely gutted. For anyone who saw my short earlier, absolutely gutted. I wasn't expecting AJ to go tonight. I'm still hoping there's aspects of a work. Maybe Styles said, I'm retired from WWE, but I'm not retired from TNA. I mean, I suppose there's the off chance he might be out of contract and he might go to AEW, which they can kind of get away with then. I wouldn't have thought so. I can't see AJ Styles going to AEW now after that. Yeah, I'm absolutely gutted because basically, just to tell a quick story, I've seen AJ Styles 3 or 4 times in England, seen him at house shows in Manchester. TNA, he was always my favourite wrestler. I absolutely loved the guy. I mean, his work there was brilliant. Watched a bit of the stuff he did in New Japan with Finn, and a bit of the stuff that he did with Shinsuke with the Bullet Club, and his work on the Indies. Then obviously came to WWE, had that awesome entrance at the Royal Rumble, which ironically was 10 years ago. And yeah, I know the last maybe year or so AJ hasn't been as relevant, but to my mind, if this is the end, AJ Styles is one of the top 50 wrestlers that's ever laced a pair ever, if I can say the word, laced a pair of boots. And it's as simple as that. The guy is phenomenal. And I'm gutted. The only good thing is he's paid it in full. He's given Gunther more steam on his angle because people are pissed with Gunther. I mean, I just saw that interview that had the kickoff show. The post show. People are going mental, absolutely mental. Obviously, he's retired Cena. He's retired Goldberg now, and he's retired AJ Styles. I mean, if they're going to continue that angle, we're just thinking about Gunther for a minute. I mean, you could have him retire Brock, maybe. I'm just trying to think of people who are that age. I don't think they'd have Gunther retire CM Punk because obviously people were pissed with Cena as it was. You can get away with AJ, you can get away with Goldberg. If he retired CM Punk, people would go mental. Apart from the people who don't like CM Punk. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm absolutely got the only good thing, like I said, is fair play to AJ Styles and fair play to Gunther. That was an absolutely brilliant pro wrestling match. That was not like that wasn't sports entertainment. That was an effing pro wrestling match. It was, like I said, match of the year so far. Gunther versus AJ Styles, absolutely fantastic. Like I said, my only thing that I'm a bit gutted about. Obviously, we've got to see Shinsuke versus AJ one more time, which was really good. Obviously, we've seen CM Punk versus AJ. I mean, I would have liked to have seen him work with Joe, as in Joe Hendry, obviously Roman Reigns, Tito Santana. Obviously, they're teased in TNA. Maybe you could have gone back to New Japan. I don't know. Maybe Samoa Joe might show up for like a random match in WWE. Who knows? But yeah, I am gutted. I suppose that's the point because Gunther's in the storyline, obviously, taking it away from us. I'm not going to talk too much about the match. Like I said, it was a Stone Cold Classic. It's my favourite match of the year so far. That and Chris Statlander versus Tekla. By the way, can I thoroughly recommend that if you're an AEW person, or even if you're not, go and watch Tekla versus Statlander from the other day. It was absolutely brilliant. Um, but yeah, I suppose all I'd just like to say on that is to AJ Styles, thank you for being one of the best pro wrestlers of all time, and legitimately, um, mate, you've been a pleasure to watch. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching you. In Manchester at the TNA house shows, I've seen AJ Styles a fair few times, and I suppose I'd just like to say, literally, I know people do the thank you AJ chant, and it's kind of a genuinely I'm gutted, and I'd just like to say thank you AJ Styles for everything that you've done. Not that he's ever going to hear this, to be honest, but you never know, he might. I'd just like to say to AJ Styles, you've been a pleasure to watch. You're a top draw bloke, and I'm genuinely really going to miss you. Hopefully, he doesn't leave wrestling altogether. Maybe he might want to be a road agent. Maybe he might want to spend time with his family. Maybe he can come back in a GM role. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I was actually thinking the whole thing with Adam Pearce. They do seem to be building something towards that. Maybe Pearce loses his job. He becomes an active wrestler. Maybe Aldis does the same, because those two can still go, you'd imagine, because they're looking in fantastic shape. Maybe they need a new GM, and maybe AJ Styles becomes the GM, and perhaps he ends up absolutely making Gunther's life a living hell. Who knows? Like a reverse Stone Cold and Vince McMahon, basically. But we'll have to wait and see. In terms of Gunther, obviously he did not win the Royal Rumble. What that means for him, I don't know. I mean, the next match, I'm not going to talk about too much. Obviously, we had Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. And this is at the point where I thought that basically WWE were trolling the Saudis, because, like, they've just seen AJ Styles retire. He'll Liv Morgan's won. And then basically their boy Sami Zayn has been beaten by Drew McIntyre, who is currently taking the mick out of Saudi Arabians, who do not look best pleased, to be honest. Hey, let's have a look. Hey Logan, how you doing, mate? You alright? Yeah, 6, 7. Um, yeah. Um, why was I saying about that for? I've completely lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah, so yeah, Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. It was fine. It was a fine match. It was what it was. I don't think it's a particularly interesting match. I think Sami Zayn versus Cody, Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso, or Drew McIntyre versus Bron Breakker, or Drew McIntyre versus uh, I don't know, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, or Drew McIntyre, even against someone like Drew McIntyre against Logan Paul. That I would be interested in. Um, Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, I'd be interested in if Drew was a face. Drew versus Sammy, not really interested. And plus, it's the whole thing of like, well, he's beaten him 12 times now, and I'm like, makes it kind of makes Sami Zayn look like a bit of a loser, unless the only thing I'm thinking of, and I've not had time to even think about WrestleMania. The only thing I can possibly think of is if they're building towards a triple threat match, because obviously you've got lots of guys and lots of girls who have not got matches at the minute. The only thing I can possibly think of is that maybe they go Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. Because let me get into the men's match, because obviously that was a huge thing that happened. Drew McIntyre eliminated Cody Rhodes. Let me just read Logan's comment first. Hi Logan again. I'm not happy that Powerhouse Hobbs is in WWE because he was in the ops in the middle of a feud with Hangman and he just left out. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Logan. Like I watch AEW as well. Look, I have no ill will towards. Well, there are some aspects of WWE that I do not like politically. I think I'll just leave that at that. But I know what you mean, because I was actually enjoying the whole ops thing. Obviously, you had Hook. I really liked that turn that they did with Hook. When obviously Hangman lost the title to Joe. Um, and I didn't like the whole ops thing at first. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not for it. But they actually did build it into a good, really good storyline. Um, and obviously it's been completely destroyed now. 'Cause I mean, Joe's, I think, on the shelf. I missed the previous week's Dynamite, so I don't know if he's legit shoot injured. I'm assuming he's shoot injured. I don't know. But I was actually enjoying it. I really enjoyed. I can never pronounce his name. Sonada. Um, and I thought the combo of him, Hook, Joe, I was like, this could be quite interesting actually. And when obviously Hangman and Swerve kind of joined forces and MJF came back, I thought, do you know what? This is a good fresh start. I'm really looking forward to this. And I quite like the idea of the ops chasing. And now it's like, I suppose you can explain it away and you can just ignore it. I mean, if I was AEW, to be honest, I would literally just say what happened and just say what happened and just basically say, so I don't know, I'm getting this off the top of my head. Powerhouse Hobbs, you were never fit to lace the Ops' boots. You were basically like a security guard for us. You have no talent. Obviously he does, it goes without saying, but like, um, we're glad you've gone, and now we're replacing you with this guy. Now, who they can replace Hobbs with, if the Ops is going to be a thing going forward, if you could get Wardlow fit again, maybe he could be in it because obviously they need a big guy. I, I think Brody King's doing really well as a face, obviously with the whole Ice thing as well, because Brody King's a top bloke. I love him. I love the fact he's so socially conscious. Um, I, I honestly don't know who could fill the void. I really don't. I really don't. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Logan. I was actually enjoying that, and it kind of you do wonder from WWE's point of view whether they've deliberately looked at a storyline that AEW are doing and gone, yeah, we'll just give you a problem. Or maybe they're just like Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I'm not sure about the name either. I wasn't a fan of the name Powerhouse Hobbs as it was. The new name, I'm kind of like, I think I'll stick with Powerhouse Hobbs. But he actually had a decent debut, to be fair to him. But yeah, I know what you mean, dude. I don't like things where they have to explain absences. I mean, the only other thing I can think of for the Ops is perhaps they could be absorbed into the Don Callis family, but they've already got so many members as it is. Maybe they can be absorbed into the Death Riders, perhaps, if they get Mox out and turn Mox full face kind of thing. Ricochet's group, maybe. Because obviously you've got Bishop Kong, the other lads, you've got Ricochet. Maybe you could put something together. I don't know, but yeah, I can get what you mean. It's really disappointing, dude, to be honest. But if that's what Hobbs wanted to do, then fair play to the boy. Let's have a look. It's like why because he was doing well in the Ops in AEW. I agree, dude. I agree. To be honest, Logan, I wouldn't say I was never a Powerhouse Hobbs fan. At first, I was kind of like, he's fine. He's all right. He's a big bloke with a bit of skills. Um, yeah, he's fine. You know what I mean? And obviously, his work's really improved over the last year or so. So he's probably a big loss for AEW. What they do with him in WWE, can he get to the top? I'd say he's got a lot of traffic in front of him at the minute. I mean, I honestly don't know. I really don't know. We'll have to see how he gets on. WWE are just going to kill his character. Yeah, well, this is what I'm worried about, Logan. Mert, how you doing, Mert? You all right? Am I from Somalia? I am not from Somalia. You're only a little bit off. I'm from Leeds. But yeah, close. No, not Somalian. I'm English and from Leeds in West Yorkshire. Leeds. Hold on. So look, I am from. I can't. Sorry, I really can't read your name. Like I said, my glasses are just horrendous. I was saying this to someone the other day. I am from India. WWB Great Khali. Oh, nice one. Dahori. Is it Dahori? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I do apologise. Yes, I've been watching the Great Khali against who was it when he first came in against Triple H against Rey Mysterio. Carly was actually look. He wasn't a scientific master. Let's have it right. I did think Carly was a lot better than people have said that he was. Look, he was just a very good big man, and like obviously, I mean, it was back in the day when they didn't really train big men. They just like kind of threw him in there. But like, it's not like he was the giant Gonzalez. By the way, for the younger people who end up watching or listening to this, yes, the giant Gonzalez was a whole thing. Rest in peace to him as well, because he died when it was about 7 or 8 years ago, I think, something like that. But yeah, um, yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought now. Let me have a look. Yeah, WWE are just going to kill this character. Yeah, well, look, this is what I'm worried about, Logan. Like I said, just to return to your thing. I just wonder where he fits in. That would be my primary concern about Hobbs. I mean, you've just added, I don't know, Trick Williams. You've got the Vision. You've got Cody, you've got obviously Roman, you've got CM Punk, which is fine because I'm guessing it's going to end up being Punk and Roman. Um, you've just brought Cardona back. He's going to need something to do at some point. That you've got the wretched MFTs, who I'm sorry, I've been on a rant about this before. I'm not an MFT fan at all, to be honest. They're taking up time. I mean, you've got bloody hell, you've got the Wyatt family. They're not doing anything with. You've got Joe Hendry to get back. He was another one actually. I was very surprised Joe wasn't in the Rumble, and I'm just wondering what's going on with that at the moment because I thought he was going to be. I'm sure they said he was a full-time member of the SmackDown roster, and he seems to have been put back to NXT, and he's also still in TNA. I don't really know what's going on with that, but the point is, it's like where does Hobbs fit into all that? I mean, I honestly do. I don't know, but it just screams mid card to me. I mean, I suppose I personally would think about putting Powerhouse Hobbs in a group. Judgment Day is screaming out for someone like that. Maybe that's an option. To be honest, Logan, I haven't given it any degree of thought. I'm gonna have to think about it for a few days. But I honestly don't know. I really, really don't know. But just like I said, all the best to him at the end of the day. I think the Death Riders will turn on Mox because if he turns babyface, the rest of them will see. Will agree he totally turns back. Yeah, yeah. To be honest, Logan, I mean, look, Mox is basically a babyface now. Let's have it right. He's pretty much babyface. Um, I've been thinking for a while that they will turn on him because it is just like, yeah, you promised us all this, and now we're going out praising um, wrestling fans, and you told us we were here to shake up the industry. This isn't what we signed up for. I think they will kick Mox out eventually. I don't think any of them are strong enough. I like Pac, don't get me wrong. I really do like him as a character. Is he strong enough in his group? I think Pac is a lot better on his own, to be honest. I would like to see Pac be given a run at maybe not the world title, but an actual title. I think personally for me, he's better being on his own kind of thing. You've got Danny Garcia, very, very good professional wrestler. Definitely got a lot of talent. He's going to be there for a number of years. Not ready yet, in my opinion. Claudio, he's like silent killer type of thing. Is he a leader? Not for me. Um, I mean, I don't know who they'd get to replace Mark, so I've got no idea. Or if they just kill the group completely. I was thinking a long time ago that maybe they'll do some reverse heel turn and have Darby Allin end up taking over the Death Riders. Possibly, I don't know. And then they can do a whole switcheroo when they turn Darby Allin heel, maybe. But obviously, Darby Allin is loved by a lot of people, so whether that would even work, dude, I don't know. But it's interesting anyway. I think eventually they'll get Mox back up to world title picture and they'll start mixing him in with Hangman. Obviously, they've got the whole thing with Osprey as well. You've got to throw that into the picture. I mean, would people boo Osprey for attacking John Moxley, who basically only cost him a year of his career, I would probably politely suggest no. So yeah, it's interesting anyway, dude. We'll have to wait and see. I am Indian. Nice one, mate. I'm really sorry, dude. I can't see your handle. I love you, my tribal chief Roman Reigns. Uh, my friend, I just hope you're not too upset at WrestleMania because that guy's going to kick Roman Reigns' ass. No, I'm only joking. I am only joking. I did. Yeah, no, I think, dude, I think it's going to be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. I'd be astonished if it's not. I can't see Roman Reigns picking Drew McIntyre, especially after what happened with Cody, which I'll get onto in a minute, by the way. Let's have a look. Marine Shafir might take her. I did hear that, Logan, actually. They were thinking about maybe having a female leader. That would be fine with me. That solves the whole problem, because obviously Marina came in with Mox. Maybe she'd be the most pissed off about the direction that they're taking. That works. That definitely works, dude. Props to you. That definitely works. I'd be more than happy with that, to be honest. That'd be really good. I really like Marina Shafir. I think at first I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm meant to be watching here. Her work the last 3 or 4 months has been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Um, and again, I'm going to shout out Tekla while I'm meant to be talking about the Royal Rumble, but guys who end up listening to me, this girl is money. I absolutely love Tekla. I think she's probably, other than Punk, Osprey, Swerve Strickland, those guys, I think she's probably my favourite professional wrestler in the world at the minute. And I can't even tell you what, I love Tekla. I love the spider walk. I love the sarcasm. I love the fact she's a bit violent. She's a bit messy. That she's a bit all over the place. She's a bit mad. She does cool moves. She can take a punch. Everything. Honestly, I am so high in Tekla. I think she is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, go and watch it basically. Darby Allen would make a good bad guy, but not gonna lie, he is crazy. He is absolutely crazy. I mean, like, he literally just climbed Everest a couple of months ago. Before, well, not it was obviously it was All In, wasn't it? Just before All In Texas, and this was about 2 months after he'd been hit by a bus, and like I've seen them. There's I don't know. I think it's the proper camera footage, but basically one of the guys was showing me, and we think it's Darby Allin, but it basically gets up and he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And they're like, "You dude, you need to go to the hospital." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be all right." Yeah, he is insane, Darby Allin. I mean, I've heard the podcast as well with who was interviewing Darby. I think it was on the Talk is Jericho podcast, and he comes across as a really sound bloke, very articulate, highly intelligent man, but just a bit of a nutcase, to be honest. So that would work for me, to be honest, but we'd have to. I would love to see. I don't know if they could ever do this, but if Darby Allin for some reason ever went to WWE, I would love to see him in the Wyatt family. That would work so well on so many levels. But whether they'd have any interest in Darby, I'm sure they would, but I don't know if he'd ever go there because I just can't see Darby Allin working under the conditions WWE would want. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he's only a young lad, so he's got plenty of time. Just very quickly on the men's rumble, folks. Also, just very quickly, was it me or did it look like there were loads of seats that weren't filled? Because me and my missus were watching it, and the bit on Michael Cole's side of the ring where the comms desk was, we were like, so I'm just moving my title belt, like I'm an actual champion. We saw the comms desk, and it looked like there were a boatload of people that like weren't there on that side. And then we saw the other side, and we were like, oh, it's all right, because they're on three corners of the stadium. But then the side where obviously you've got the hard cam pointing at the crowd, it looked like it wasn't full, but then if you actually looked, I think there were, I'm not sure what were in the chairs, but I think there were lights. But it ended up, I don't know who the set director person was. Like the front of the set was really good when the wrestlers came out from the entrance. There was bits lights toward the hard cam area where those lights just looked like empty seats. And I don't think they were empty seats, but as the camera sort of raised up, that didn't look cool. It's maybe just an old man complaint, but it kind of looked like there were huge gaps. So I would have got rid of those lights. And also, to be honest, I would have just moved the crowd around. And then it's like, well, just put a background behind Cole and Barrett or something. I don't know what they could have done, but it was one of those things. It kind of took me out of it a little bit. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. Darby Allin is that crazy. If he had a group, it would be a way more violent group than the Death Riders. Agreed, dude. Agree. That's why I think if they could have the original Wyatt Six, as in the ones that debuted on Raw, when they had that whole angle where they essentially killed Chad Gable apparently. If they'd had that, that would be absolute money. But whether, like I said, whether he'd ever go, I don't know. In terms of the men's wrestling, I mean, I'll just go through a couple of the points. Obafemi lasted, I want to say it was 35 minutes and eliminated 6 people, I think. He got eliminated by Brock. You would imagine that's not. I think they'll do Brock versus Obafemi. I think they want to go get this guy over. He's super over already because honestly, Obafemi, he just looks magnificent, to be fair to the boy. I think they might go Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar already at WrestleMania. I would not be surprised if that was in the pipeline. And if not this year, they'll definitely do it next year. There was the whole thing with Bron Breakker being taken out as well by the Masked Man, who again did the Seth curb stomp. Now, I'm trying to work this one out, and I'm going to need a bit of time to work it out. I can't see it being Seth Rollins, because why wouldn't you reveal him? It might be another Austin Theory again. You wonder if it's Paul Heyman who's pulling strings and maybe try and get Bron out of the group, because they made a whole load of noise about protecting Bron Breakker and making sure that he won the Rumble and blah, 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 blah. But in terms of who else it could be, I don't know, could it be Adam Pearce with a load of hooded people that do Seth Rollins stunts? Honestly, at the moment, I'm not totally sure about that, but I guess it's just a way of keeping Bron Breakker away from the title scene and giving him something to do at Mania. Maybe, I mean, it could be Seth Rollins, I don't know, but I mean, it's like, why would you bring Seth Rollins all the way to Saudi Arabia and not, I suppose, reveal him? I suppose it could have been Jericho, but I mean, again, what would be the point of taking Chris Jericho all the way to Saudi Arabia and then having him curb stomp someone using someone else's move? That does not make any level of sense. So, in terms of who it is, I've got no idea, but that obviously is like a major storyline going forward. Let me just have a look. Mr. Iguana turning up. That was that whole sequence when there's a bit where Damien Priest literally just like choke slammed the iguana and Mr. Iguana. I just thought it was absolute. Do you know what? Fair play to Damien Priest. I quite like Damien tonight. He seemed to be in a very sort of funny mood. I thought Damien Priest was all right this evening. He's another one. He's a really talented boy, Damien Priest. I'd really just like to see him in a group or have him turn heel. He's not a babyface. That's not right. He's a nice bloke, but if he's going to be a babyface, he needs to be an arse kicker. At the moment, he's like Timu Roman Reigns back in the day, and that is not what you need from Damien Priest. Damien Priest is an arse kicker, basically. And yeah, they should treat him as such. And sorry if I'm just flipping over to. I've not seen him from the post show. I'm just going to put Denise Salcedo on just to see if they've heard anything. Let me just move Denise, who has been on. Yes, there we go. Cool. Yeah, and then obviously Powerhouse Hobbs debuted as well. What else did you have? You had La Parka. I kind of thought that was a bit weird. I don't know much about La Parka, but it was kind of a bit odd, to be honest. I don't know. Also as well, I really enjoyed the men's rumble. My one complaint was, right, we've had the whole Grande Americano thing. You're not going to get a much better chance to get a reaction than having them both unmasked at the Rumble. Why are we still doing this? Is this going to be a thing till WrestleMania? Maybe, I don't know. I would like the whole El Grande Americano thing to be gone, personally. I think it's run its course, but there we go. One match I would like to see is Brock Lesnar versus Jay. Oh yes, Logan, absolutely, mate, absolutely. I've been saying that for a long, long time. That would be a fantastic match. I'd really enjoy. I'm just wondering, maybe they might be looking at Obafemi and going, do you know what? This lad is going to be absolute money. Jacob Fatu obviously had the injury and stuff, but they need to keep him doing something because they cannot mess Jacob Fatu up because this guy is going to be. But one person I want to see Jacob Fatu, and they've teased this a couple of times. I want Bron Breakker versus Jacob Fatu. They have to do that match because when they've teased it before, the crowd went mental. I'd really like to see that as well. I'd actually like to see Jacob Fatu against CM Punk. I think that would actually be a really, really good challenge for Punk. Who else? When they eventually have the match, Drew versus Jacob, that's going to be decent as well. There's so many matches for that guy to have, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yes, definitely Lesnar, Logan, definitely Lesnar. I'd be astonished if they didn't do that. Actually, now I think about it, but we'll have to wait and see. What else? I love the way that Wade Barrett said, "I've got some bad news." He actually said as well for the British people who may or may not end up listening to this. Um, Talking about Mr. Iguana, he actually said, "It's a puppy," which is a thing from British TV about 20, 25 years ago. That just made me howl because the Americans are just going to be like, Wade, what are you on about? And British people watching it of a certain age just going to be like, brilliant. But yeah, Lesnar got eliminated by LA Knight, who came back, and Cody Rhodes. The whole, I don't know if it was just me, but the whole Brock Lesnar elimination was really, I just found it really odd, to be honest. It seemed really rushed. Brock didn't seem remotely angry about it, really. They didn't focus on him on the camera angles, and him and Heyman just sort of walked off. They did it during the sort of music of the other entrant. I don't think they've got to that point actually, but when they did the countdown kind of thing, um, and it just seemed to happen off. I know it didn't happen off camera, but it kind of got. I don't know. It was just like a normal jobber had just been thrown out, and I was like, well, I mean, another thing is, it's like, well, if you're going to put a rocket pack on someone, does Cody need to eliminate Brock as well? Could LA Knight not just have done? I don't know. I just thought that was really, really odd. It was really, really. I don't know if yeah, I don't know if it was maybe just me. I don't know, but I just found it really, really odd the way that Brock was eliminated. Like I say, it probably is just me being far too excited with this, that, and the other. But yeah, I just thought it was very, very strange. And then just very, very quickly, obviously you had Roman come in, who eventually won the match, obviously. Randy got a huge ovation. The crowd were not pleased when Randy got thrown over. And then Drew McIntyre. And see, I have questions about the Drew McIntyre thing, and I've always had a question about this at the Rumble. Obviously, you've got to use suspension of disbelief with wrestling because half the time, if it was like a VAR thing, you would just be like, well, that bloke had his foot on the rope, so we're restarting the match and this, that, and the other, blah, blah. Or he's just been kicked in the balls. Yeah, you're disqualified. So you've got to have suspension of disbelief. But the referee's blatantly seeing. So there was a referee, if you look, who could actually see Drew claymoring, if that is that a word, claymoring, claymoring Cody Rhodes, and it's kind of like, look, I know it's a means to an end, but it's like, well, I mean, if this was like an actual official wrestling match, I mean, I don't know how you'd measure this, obviously, but it's just kind of like, well, I mean, surely that shouldn't count because Drew isn't actually in the match. And that's always what I know. It's in the rules of WWE. It has been for many, many years in terms of the Rumble. But I've always just thought that's just, why would you let someone who's not in the match eliminates someone that's never made any kind of logical sense. But it's probably just me overthinking it. I don't know, but yeah, that was a bit odd. Then you had the whole sequence where um, Roman Reigns eliminated Jey Uso. I think he eliminated Jacob as well. Did he eliminate Jacob? I can't remember that. And then he ended up with Logan Paul, Gunther, who was selling his injuries against Styles. You had Roman, and I've temporarily forgot who the hell it was as well. Logan, Roman, oh, Randy Orton as well. And then basically it comes down to Gunther and Roman Reigns. And this is what I was thinking, right, if we're getting AJ Styles getting revenge or doing whatever, maybe this is it. And there was nothing. And that was the death knell for AJ Styles because it's like, right, I'm gonna have to accept he's legit retiring, which I was gutted about. And then obviously Roman threw Gunther over the top rope. So I mean, just two things in terms. I mean, looking at some of the names there. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm happy Tommaso Ciampa's in AEW going up against Mark Briscoe. Yes, dude, that's going to be a sick match. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm glad they're taking Ciampa back to his roots as well. I watched Tommaso. I used to watch Ring of Honor about when I used to live on my own about 50, when it was 15, 16 years ago when he worked with this manager called The Truth, I think his name was. I can't remember that. It was a long, long time ago. But when I first saw Ciampa, I was like, this guy is really, really good. And I don't think the way that I know Triple H likes him a lot, but the way he's been used is not great. I mean, you've got like Johnny Gargano as well. And it's like, dude, seriously, Johnny Gargano is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Why are we having him stealing people's face masks? Is I don't know, that whole. I'm not surprised Ciampa left because I would have thought he probably looked at that and he was just like, what are we doing here? This is just stupid. So yeah, fair play to Ciampa. I hope he can do really well in AEW. If they don't use him well there, maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling at some point. Who knows? But he's too good not to do well for a major company. So yeah, shout out to Ciampa, and I hope he does really well. Just in terms of the matches, then. So in terms of the people that featured, Obafemi has now got to have a marquee match at WrestleMania. I would not be surprised at all if it's Brock Lesnar, maybe Jacob Fatu. I don't know, but I think they'll want to do like a big contest kind of thing. In terms of Bron Breakker and the Vision, I'm going to have a sleep on that. I haven't got a clue what they're going to do with them guys now. There's the whole Seth Rollins of it all. Maybe Seth. The only thing that's popped into my head recently is maybe Seth is sending one or two of these people and he's going to come back with a new stable. Maybe. I don't know. I've got absolutely no idea. So that's a possibility. Let me have a look. Obviously, Trick Williams was in the match. I can't imagine he's going to be getting a market because he's only just joined SmackDown. Obviously, they do want to do stuff with him. Like I said, Powerhouse Hobbs, past God knows what he's going to be doing. Who else have you got? So you've got the whole LA Knight of it all. Obviously, LA Knight's now back. Who do you put him with? I would suspect you're looking at Intercontinental sort of level again for LA Knight because I just don't think they're ever going to put him. They're never going to. I just don't think they're going to ever give him the world title. To be honest, I just don't. I'm not sure about this whole Triple H not liking him thing. Because look, I'm not in. I don't know if Triple H likes him. I've never had a discussion with Triple H about LA Knight, but it does kind of come across as like doesn't really like him, does it? Yeah, so I reckon Lesnar over Femi. Looking at this, sorry, I'm just literally looking at all the people that have entered. Randy Orton, who's he going up against? God, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Randy Orton ends up doing a gimmick where he has like a surprise challenger every single year, like they did with Joe Hendry. What are we doing with Joe Hendry? Is he going to be at WrestleMania? Like I said, that seems to be a very, very odd situation with Joe at the minute. I don't know what they're doing with him. Like I said, Drew and the Cody of it all. I wouldn't be surprised if we were going to end up with Sami Zayn versus Drew versus Cody, and then that gives all three of them a match at Mania. I hope they give Drew a match at WrestleMania, but we'll have to wait and see. I think he deserves it. I mean, if anyone has worked his backside off to get a happy ending at WrestleMania, it's Drew McIntyre. So I genuinely do hope they give it to him, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think looking at all this, folks, I can't now see beyond CM Punk and Roman Reigns as the. I know you do like main events on both nights, but obviously the last one that you see is the one on Sunday. I would be astonished now if it's not CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Perhaps I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe I did like the idea of having a four-way with him, Brock, Cody, Punk, and Roman. I can't see him throwing all those into one match, but you never know. I could be right. Who knows? Um, but yeah, we will have to wait and see. But guys, that was for those of you who end up listening to the podcast. Um, I'm now going to watch Match of the Day. Now, for those of you who listen to the podcast who are wrestling fans, this might not make anything to you whatsoever. I am also a supporter of these guys, Liverpool Football Club. I very quickly had to watch the last 5 or 6 minutes of the match and try and get some highlights to try and work out what exactly my team have actually done. Didn't have time, so I'm now going to watch Liverpool and prepare for my live stream on that tomorrow because I actually took the decision to not watch Liverpool and watch the Royal Rumble. Because look, I love the Rumble so much. It's literally one of my favourite things of the year in any sort of thing that you could imagine. Um, and of course, the one time I do that, Liverpool win 4-1, absolutely destroy Newcastle United as they do. And guaranteed, if I'd watched it, we would have lost 4-1 to Newcastle. So there we go. But yeah, I'm going to settle back and watch that now. I'm going to get some good food. I'm going to have some more of my Captain Morgan, which is going to be good. Watch a bit of Denise Salcedo, and then I'm going to go to bed because that was a far too much excitement for one day, quite honestly. But there we go. But yes, folks. For those of you who did tune in, Logan, it was lovely talking to you, mate. Thank you very much for interacting. Really appreciate it, mate. Lovely to speak to you again, pal. Yeah, just thanks for everyone that's watched me, especially yesterday. Thanks for everyone that's watched the shorts tonight. I think we've got loads of figures for that. Really sorry to the Liverpool crew that I couldn't. I literally tried watching both. I just did. I just couldn't do it at the end. It was just a pain in the backside. So, yeah. Just thanks for all the support. Support the last couple of days. There's loads of stuff coming up as well. Have a good night, my man. Nice chatting with you again. You too, Logan. Have a good night, mate. Have a great Saturday. Cheers, mate. Just very, very, very quickly, folks. Off the top of my head, what am I doing the next week? Right. At some point tomorrow, I'm going to do Liverpool live reaction. I don't know when I'm going to do it, if I'm being completely honest, but I'm hoping sort of mid-afternoon, maybe, if I can get away from the wife and the lovely child. That makes me sound awful. I'll be back on normal next week, so I'll be doing live reaction to Monday Night Raw, Tuesday at 10:30. I'll be reviewing AEW Dynamite, which we've just been talking about. That'll be on Thursday, hopefully about 10:30. Friday Night SmackDown, I'm going to review at 11 o'clock, this time next week, basically. On Saturday night, I think Liverpool and City as well, I'll be doing live reaction for on Sunday. I also believe we're playing Sunderland next week, potentially. I may have imagined that, I don't know. But also as well, on next Friday, I've got a stadium tour for those of you who subscribe to me regularly. So I went to a stadium tour in West Brom to go and see West Bromwich Albion. Sort of the back end of the sort of the late summer, early start of winter. That vlog and a load of shorts are coming next Friday, so keep an eye out for that. And there's a load of other stuff that I'm doing soon. I'm getting my tickets for the Liverpool Legends match. Hopefully, I'm getting my tickets for AEW All In at Wembley Stadium because I think they're dropping soon. And I'm also, for the Comic Con people who follow me, I'm also going to Leeds Comic Con, not next weekend, but the weekend after. Whew. Anyway, I've got a lot of stuff coming up. But for now, that was far too much excitement, guys. I need to have to get some food. I'm going to go and get a beer, have a bit more rum, and then I'm going to go to sleep. But yeah, thank you, Logan. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And cool. I will see you at some point tomorrow. Take care, guys.